Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The rematch of the LCK Finals, Griffin versus SKT from Spring. SKT comes in 6 games in a row, sweeping Sandbox and Damwon. Griffin looking for revenge from Spring, and game 1, it was Doran starting as we expected, and he gets the Mordekaiser in the top lane, but early on it was all about the mid lane, and as we know, Clid is everything in the early game for SKT, and early on, the first blood goes over to Renekton on that for Faker. And then Clid comes back again. He says, you know what, that worked out pretty well the first time. Let's run that back again. 2-0 start for SKT. Faker is rolling on the croc. And then Clid sets his sights on that top lane against the Mordekaiser. He is in the Death Realm. He repels to avoid the turrets and gets the kill. Clean play from the Spider. Now 5-0 SKT with 4 dragons to their name. And they are flanking onto Griffin here. There is no escape for anybody on this squad. The early game fully goes to SKT. They force a fight there. That is 9-0 in kills, 4-0. They would grab a kill onto Chovy as well. 10-0, almost a perfect game in game 1, save for one single turret that Griffin were able to pick up. Oh no, did they tilt them already? It was game 3 for Damwon and Sandbox. Maybe game 1 tilts Griffin. Game 2, it's still Doran in the top lane. Sword is not in yet. Clid gets the Sejuani this time, but again, it's him being involved in first blood. Doran, there's no escape from that Hex Tech. He's going to throw the Sejuani ulti just for good measure, and it doesn't matter if you lane swap to the bottom lane because Clid comes right back again on that Sejuani. Another kill going over to Khan, and he's getting rolling now. Around the Baron pit, 3-0 SKT. There's really no way to contest because SKT caught out Viper earlier on that Ashe, which means it was 5v4. No contest there. They look dead in the water, does Griffin, but Chovy, the slick bounce out of the Akali play from Faker. He dusts him in the 1v1 outplay. Now 3-2. It's Griffin on the Baron buff, but check out effort. You think he has smite? No, he doesn't have smite. That is the Braum ultimate that steals the Baron buff from Griffin. It was desperation for them because Khan, as we saw so many times against Damwon, was split pushing in the side lane. SKT grabbed the Baron. They grabbed 3 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills. It's an ace, and oh yeah, Khan is already on the Nexus. Everybody TP's in, but effort, the man, the myth, the legend. Mata, you're never playing again when this guy is stealing Baron with a Braum ulti. 2-0 SKT. We look well on the way to yet another sweep, and Griffin losing again in the LCK Finals. Game 3, still no Doran, or still no Sword. It's Doran in that top lane. We get a Shen support for Lehens in the bottom lane, and early on it is Tarzan being super proactive. He invades the jungle of Clid. He's going under inner turrets. He grabs first blood, and then he's moving to that top side to take down Khan with Doran on the Jace, but the TP does come in, which forces them off, and then all of a sudden Tarzan's in enemy territory. Faker and Khan change onto him to try and get the double buffs back. He smites for a bit of HP, but then the nice repel over to the Vision Orb to survive, but look who's coming back as well. It is 3v2, but here comes Clid. Faker grabs the kill onto Tarzan. He gets the double buffs. Griffin does get a trade onto Khan. Ends up being a 2-for-2 after all of that, and Faker survives with the double buffs. So maybe a win for SKT, but Tarzan was by no means done in that top lane, as the Sejuani ult is a bit of a whiff, and Khan goes down, and now Clid is going to follow. There you go, Griffin. The early game fully going their way, 5-2 in kills, now 8-2. They're on the Baron again, but oh no, effort on the Braum. This time, the smite is true from Tarzan. There's no insane steal, and the preceding fight with the Baron buff actually goes still the way of SKT. They grab a couple of kills, but Griffin is going to call it worth because Chovy gets the blast plant out, and they have the Baron buff, and then it's Khan face checking a bush, and Faker is going to try and make a play to keep SKT back in this game, but that is not going to be the case. Griffin, 5 dragons, and they already had a Baron buff. They still didn't have it, but they had the gold lead in a big way, and the rest of SKT are just left to absolutely run away, and that is the end of SKT's effort. He pops the Zhonya's to try and delay everybody, but the rest of the crew, Griffin just chases down Klid on the Sejuani. Teddy's left to defend 1v5. Not going to happen, even though he was very fed on the Lucian. Griffin, they break the 6-game win streak of SKT. They will not be swept in back-to-back finals. We are going to Game 4. Faker gets his Azir. It's a volley bear for Lehends, and Klid is on that jungle trundle. Check out the pillar over the wall and the dash over from Khan, but Doran's alive until they both flash in. The Chomp grabs the first blood here. Now 3-0 SKT. We're scrapping around the Rift Herald. Everybody's TPing in. Lehends goes down. It's a trade. Griffin does grab a kill back onto Effort, but it's the rest of SKT there to fully clean this one up as Khan comes in on the Akali. He is dashing in. Viper runaway on that Kaisa. Ends up being a 3-for-1 exchange as they would chase down Chovy as well. 7-1 Brazil versus Germany, boys. And now around the Infernal Dragon, it's SKT again chasing, and Griffin is just left to flee. Flee home, fly, you fools. Chovy goes over, though, as the Aatrox, and he has to pop the stopwatch as the rest of SKT just absolutely clean house. A few more kills, 3 more over. Viper does live, but now 12-3, 2 Infernals, and Griffin go all in to take down Faker in the mid lane. Okay, that's a pretty good play, but the rest of SKT are there to follow up, and you see the TP way up there. Here comes Khan on the Akali. Again, the flanks working a little bit of magic for SK Telecom. Khan on this Akali in this series was pretty darn insane as Effort goes over to try and scare off Tarzan. SKT goes for the Baron. That is way too early to go for a steal on that Sejuani Tarzan. And then it's just a little bit of a Baron dance here for SKT. Faker's not even there. He's running back from base, but there's no smite contest. Chovy thinks he can do something. He cannot. Klid gets the Baron buff. It's a kill onto the Jace, a kill onto the Aatrox. 16, now 17-4 as Viper tries to kill Teddy, but he is very fed and has his buddy Rakan with him. 5 kills, clean ace, 5-0, 21-4, 3 Infernals for SKT. From 1-5, 9th place to back-to-back LCK champions. They will be the #1 seed at Worlds for the LCK. Griffin, they're still going to Worlds, but it's got to be a little bit of a sour taste left in their mouth. Their 3rd straight LCK final, their 3rd straight loss. Klid gets MVP. He had first blood in every single game that SKT won. He is back to spring form, absolutely, and MSI form. LCK 8th title for SK Telecom, 8th title for Faker. They are the best organization in the history of Korean League of Legends and the scariest team, or one of the scariest teams heading into Worlds, and you know they want a rematch against G2 eSports. Everybody, fear SKT.